The actual transformation of your life is going to start at the moment in time, my gorgeous Capricorn. At the moment in time, you kind of accept something not happening. And when I say that there is something that you need to accept not happening, it's just to do with an unwise plan, it's to do with an old plan, but it's also to do with an old karma, just dragging and dragging and dragging. That old karma was dragging into your life up until this moment in time, because especially when it comes to the 11th of April, there is a very, very amazing, like interesting, gorgeous, beautiful experience that you're going to have. And this in itself, it's really going to inspire you. There are so many kind of ideas that you're going to have. There are so many realizations that you're actually going to have about yourself and about your life. And that in itself is going to give you a clear indication, like that there is a very, very specific direction that you need to kind of like go on as soon as you possibly can, because at the same time you're about to tap into something very, very sacred to you, and you're about to tap into an untapped potential, and that it's a very much so an important sign that you have been through something very, very difficult in your life within the last 2 or 3 years, and now, my gorgeous Capricornius, you're most importantly going to be able to move on. Absolutely brilliant. And also when it comes to the actual numerology, your number is number 1225. I mean, wow, what a powerful number we actually have. That means that by the end of this month, you are going to give a birth to some kind of creation. You are going to start some kind of progress, which is literally going to change your life. Do not forget about this, my gorgeous Capricornius, because this is something that is at the same time going to keep you going, because a lot is going to be happening, a lot you're going to become aware of. On one hand, somebody very close to you and very important to you, it's also you're going to be worried about somebody in your life, but you don't have to worry about them because they're going to be absolutely fine. But then on another hand, my gorgeous Capricornius, what you need to understand is that, you know, you're going to be worried about a specific person in your life. Somebody may be younger or sensitive, but they just need to deal with something very specific by themselves this time. I'm not saying that you just jump in, bless your heart, but I'm just saying that there is something that there is some kind of experience. There's somebody who's so close and important to you that they need to go through by themselves in order to understand things on their own terms, if you know what I mean. So you are going to feel like pulled back, like you want to like jump in and help to someone who's struggling with something in your life, a sensitive person, younger person most likely. But then at the same time, you just need to remind yourself to let them with this particular situation, to let them they need to deal with this by themselves, because they need to get something out of it through their own experience, through their own eyes. Later on, you can jump in and you can explain to them and tell them exactly what you know and what you wanted to say to them. But at this moment in time, I just need you to step back and look at the situation from a slightly different angle and see how things are actually going to unfold. That particular person is really going to surprise you in the best possible way. There is something very specific that you're going to learn about that person, which is actually going to motivate you as well. And also, my gorgeous Capricornius, remember, you know, you are literally, this is going to be the months where you are gonna start transforming your life. There is, oh my god, this is no joke, this is like really, really important, but it's only going to happen when you understand and realize what do you have to accept, like it's not happening. And just remember how the 11th of April, what an important role it's actually going to play, especially when it comes to you kind of understanding so much more about it, so much more about yourself, but most most importantly, which exact steps do you need to make. These steps that you're going to need to make this month, that you're going to understand, you're not going to be able to make unless you accept something not happening. And this is something that is going to be so important because it's going to help you to move on indeed. And also, my gorgeous Capricornians, what else is actually going to happen this month? It's like important because you are kind of like have fallen out with someone, or you lost the connection with somebody. You feel a little bit disconnected to a specific person in your life, but this person is really important. So whether you had a bit of an argument, or whether you had a bit of a disagreement, or whether your life just drifted like in kind of different directions, of course it happens. So I do know that there is some kind of disagreement going to come to an end this month, and this is so important because at the same time it's all about cooperation in between you and somebody else. And once that disagreement comes to an end, or this disconnection, for example, this particular person, it's actually going to tell you something absolutely invaluable, almost as if they're going to tell you some kind of a secret again, or something that you never knew. But then again, at the same time, what they're going to tell you at this moment in time, you just need to keep it to yourself, because it's going to give you clear indication, it's going to give you an idea how to deal with a specific problem. But then at the same time, you just have to keep this to yourself at this moment in time indeed. So this is important. You getting closer to somebody else, this is going to mean to you so much. This is very, very important indeed. And also, my gorgeous Capricornians, when it comes to April, I really like especially the time and the stage in between the 18th and the 23rd. In between the 18th and the 23rd of April, brilliant news. What an amazing accomplishment you're actually going to have here. I really like this a lot. An amazing accomplishment, my gorgeous Capricornians, you're going to have here. And this amazing accomplishment, it's going to make you, you need to know that on one hand, you're going to be noticed by who you want to be noticed by, or someone very, very important is going to notice you. So this is going to come with this achievement. But this achievement, it's a lot to do with your progress in life, with things that you have been working on. This is going to reflect on your success. This is going to reflect on your financial situation, because at that moment in time, you will know that it's a lot about like a very solid foundation that you laid. It's going to be way more solid than you could have possibly imagined. And at the same time, some kind of memories are going to be on your mind. Like you're just going to be pulled back to such a long way. Such a long way. You're going to be pulled back, long time, ago. You're like memories from a long time ago. And there is a lot going to be on your mind, but there is a one specific memory that is just going to really kind of open your eyes. Something from a long time ago, something that was in the past, a long time ago. Now it's time for you to bring this back into this present moment. So it's not only about like nostalgia or memory. No, baby, no, but there is something very specific that is going to be highlighted from your past that you need to really bring into this present moment. So it's going to make you feel so much more complete, It's going to really reflect on your fulfillment in life, and that in itself is missing in your life. So through that particular memory, you're also going to understand what exactly it's actually missing in your life. It's all through your intuition. It's all through your mind. It's all through this powerful energy and vibration that it's going to be felt on a completely different level. This is going to be undeniable for you. If you don't kind of acknowledge this, then that means that for some reason you're still not honest with yourself. So something very specific is going to be highlighted that you need to bring into your life, because it is a very strong part of you, of who you are, and it's going to make you so much more happier. When you realize what this is, things are going to start making sense to you, especially why that particular part of yourself was stuck in the past for such a long time. You will know that you were prepared for this, especially within the last 13 months. There was so much happening within the last 13 months, but especially when it comes to your understanding and you're looking at the bigger picture about yourself, about your life, about your world, there was so much on your mind, and you will know that time was crucial for you to understand certain things by going through them, by reflecting on them in order to be prepared for this moment in time. And the fact that a really massive burden is going to come to an end, you know, this month as well, my gorgeous Capricornians. A really massive burden is going to come to an end. This is, oh my God, this is going to mean to you so much. This burden became very, very difficult, very kind of difficult to carry. And that particular burden, it's actually going to come to an end, and you will see, especially when it comes to the actual 25th of April, what are you going to hear, because it's to do with this information and message that you're going to hear, and you will know, oh my God, thank God, you know, this burden came to an end. And this is like a really big wish for you. This is like you were waiting for this for such a long time, for this burden to come to an end, and only the time could have kind of show you, like when, only the time can show you when this is actually going to heal. This burden was so not good for you, you know, like no burden is good for anyone, but the way this burden was affecting you, it was preventing you to move on, but especially when it comes to you being indecisive with things that you should be, again, pretty much so decisive almost immediately. So it was messing up with you. And that in itself, it's a really kind of going to make you so determined to do what you always wanted to do. You will know exactly by the end of this month which element of your life you need to take on the next level. You need to take on the next step. You will know exactly, because you will see how passionate you're going to feel within the last 7 days of this month. You will see exactly how passionate you're going to feel about something very specific. It's going to be on your mind every morning, something very specific. Something is going to be on your mind every single morning within the last 7 days of April. And this in itself is going to make your spirit to rise, and it's going to make you feel determined like never before. But this is also to do with your skills and the things that you know how to do, things that you love doing in order to express yourself. But most importantly, follow that determination that's going to make your spirit rising like there is no tomorrow, because that particular determination is also going to heal you within the last 7 days of April as well. It's like, yeah, I had to wait for the last 7 days of April. It doesn't matter, my gorgeous Capricornians. It's important. Within the last 7 days of April, you are literally going to heal. My goodness. And also, when it comes to nutrition and when it comes to health and things that you should be taking, very important to mention what I said before. Natural vitamin D3, it's going to help you to boost your immune system, and also it's going to be good for your sensitive bones. And at the same time, a zinc picolinate in combination with natural vitamin D3, it's superb a combination to boost your immune system, but it's also good for your skin, hair and nails. And a third supplement that I highly recommend you, it's organic chlorella. Organic chlorella, it's a wonderful supplement which is rich in omega-3 essential fatty acids and in protein as well. And omega-3 essential fatty acids our body cannot produce by itself, but it's essential. It's important because it's fantastic for mind, for our memory, for our focus, you know, for our brain in general. But it's also going to boost your immune system, and on top of that, organic chlorella, it's actually going to detoxify you from the dangerous metals which are sadly nowadays absolutely everywhere. Of course that these are my own vitamins that are without any chemicals, without any rubbish, without any unnecessary ingredients, and they are made with a superb quality ingredients, and they are suitable for vegetarians, vegans and everyone. So this is a zinc picolinate here. That's a natural vitamin D3, and this is organic chlorella. And so these three supplements you can buy from me. I highly suggest you, and you can see the link is going to be in the description below. Just click on the name of this video and it's going to expand, or you can simply go on Google and just type in Sasha Bonasin vitamins, and you can see my page coming up that way as well. If you're on any other medications, if you're pregnant, if you're breastfeeding, you just need to check with your doctor, you just need to check with your GP. only your doctor or GP can tell you whether this can interact with your existing medications or not. So now, my gorgeous Capricornians, I'm going on the very first date, which is going to be quite important. It's going to be the 2nd of April. The 2nd of April, you know, you're going to talk to this amazing person, this really amazing person, somebody very kind of grounded, somebody very down to earth, somebody very practical, somebody very resourceful, you know, somebody who's very caring, but somebody who's also very home-centered, you know, somebody who loves nature and somebody who really understands people. That particular person, you know, you are going to have a very kind of like an interesting conversation with this person, and this person is really kind of going to, through that person, you will on one hand understand, you know, the risk about some kind of venture that you are thinking about at the time. Especially when it comes to finances, you're going to understand where the actual risks are, but at the same time, you're also going to understand to that person to be a bit more open-minded and to also not to take things for granted, okay? And that in itself, you are going to understand, because maybe you were taking things for granted. I'm not having a go at you. This is going to be such a big turning point for you. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not having a go at you. This is important when it comes to you stepping forward with your life, and that in itself is necessary for you to see what's right in front of you. If you're kind of behind, it's going to be very difficult to see, because you're going to be fighting with the yesterday's problems instead of just kind of going forward with your life. Hello, my darling, I'm coming forward. Can you see me? Do you see what I mean? This is important, my gorgeous Capricornians. So you're going to realize on one hand, why were you taking things for granted? And that in itself, it's also going to also make you realize like that you were quickly why you were quickly dissatisfied with things that you shouldn't have quickly be dissatisfied with, you know. And that is like kind of, that would make you really exhausted, you know, and it would make you to give up, you know, when you shouldn't. And so this in itself, it's so important, and it's going to make you aware of the fact how restricted you actually were over the last 7 weeks in particular. So you need to come out of that, and when you find yourself restricted to this state, you know, to this stage, then it means that, you know, maybe you didn't kind of make the relevant actions with the certain ideas that you had over the last 7 weeks, but that doesn't matter, because now this is all getting back together. So you're going to be able to start moving on with your life, okay? Very important, my gorgeous Capricornians, indeed. And also, what else I was going to show you, like, look how absolutely gorgeous this pendant is. Look at that. So beautiful. I mean, I'm absolutely speechless. Look at this. Hello. Absolutely beautiful. And this is Botswana agate pendant, Botswana agate pendant, and I highly suggest you to get this, my gorgeous Capricornians. It's going to work with your energy absolutely perfectly. I suggest you to get this and wear throughout April, May and June, and wear it because it's absolutely brilliant for energy. It picks you up instantly. It's fantastic for confidence. It's fantastic for stamina, vitality and strength. Botswana agate pendant also is very helpful to bring information to the surface that's deeply rooted in your subconscious mind. It's like, oh my God, what a powerful crystal. It has got the power to unlock the power of your third psychic eye, and it has got the power to unlock, you know, your subconscious mind. So that way there is so much that comes to the surface. It's like centuries and centuries and centuries of knowledge we actually do have at the back of our subconscious mind. Us who are, you know, spiritual, you know, we understand this, and the more spiritual you are, the more you understand about this life. And I don't need to say this to you, my gorgeous Capricornians, because you are extremely spiritual anyway. So this is like what I highly suggest you. Botswana agate pendant, it's absolutely a must for energy, confidence, stamina, vitality vitality, a strength. It's absolutely super helpful to bring the information to the surface that's deeply rooted in your subconscious mind, so you can't really get things wrong. And even if you do, you were meant to get them wrong. So perhaps you need to kind of do something again, over and over again, until you understand something very specific. And that in itself really is to do with your own understanding on life and things around you and things like that. So this gorgeous Botswana agate pendant comes with sterling silver chain, and a link to buy this is in the description below. By buying things from my channel, my gorgeous Capricornians, you're also supporting my channel as well. Okay, so now the second important date, it's actually going to be on the 15th of April. On the 15th of April, I need you to be careful. Listen to me very carefully. On the 15th of April, you need to be careful. Why? Because you're gonna have a sign to not to make a bad investment. Do not ignore this sign, Capricornians. This is important. On the 15th of April, you are going to have a clear sign to not to make a bad investment. Do not ignore this sign whatsoever. Okay? Please don't ignore this sign, because it's important, because it's only going to slow you down. And now, my gorgeous Capricornians, it's time to raise your vibration. It's time to raise your It's time to raise your vibration, my gorgeous Capricornians. I haven't done this in a while. Capricornians, raise your vibration, baby. Capricornians. Capricornians, 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 pam, 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 Capricornians, pam, 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 pam. Raise your vibration, my gorgeous Capricornians. Raise your vibration. Okay, the next important date is going to be on the 17th of April. Now, the 17th of April, just pay attention to this, because it's very, very important indeed. You are going to have such a creative and very artistic flow going on, and that in itself, it's really going to make you feel extremely creative and extremely artistic. But at that moment in time, you're gonna have this, you're gonna realize something. You're gonna feel very playful in so many different ways, trust me. And this really creates a very powerful and unique vibration, very pure, the purest vibration ever, because you're doing what you love, you're doing what you enjoy. By doing what you are passionate about, you are really guided by the sacred messages within and the sacred messages of the universe to do the right thing, because you always find out something very specific about yourself. So when you have this creative artistic flow, there is some kind of a psychic and absolutely mind-blowing intuitive message going to come to you, my gorgeous Capricornians. And this mind-blowing message that it's going to come to you, it's like kind of like it's more more about what do you need to do exactly in order to speed something up in your life. You're going to realize exactly, like, kind of out of the blue, what do you need to do in order to speed something up in your life. And that in itself is, trust me, really actually going to bring a sudden progress indeed. What you're going to realize is also this psychic and intuitive message is more, it's quite a lot about not only how to speed up the certain progress, but it's going deeper, more deeper than that. It's to do with a very complex situation that was a kind of creating an inner conflict, and it was making you feel unhappy. What you can actually, and what you will understand here, what you need to understand is literally to expect the unexpected, because by the end of the day, on the 17th of April, there is something hidden and buried that is about to emerge in your life. And that in itself, it's really kind of going to make you just a little bit confused, but then at the same time somebody is going to be so kind of honest. At the same time you need to understand to be honest with yourself. You need to be honest with yourself, because otherwise you're going to be keep on contradicting yourself, and that's not really good. And in order to be honest with yourself, you will know exactly what do you need to do, which steps do you need to make. But it's more about being very sharp and very quick, because if you wait a few more days, you're gonna be like, no baby, no, like, oh no, different vibration, different energy. So this has to be done by the end of the day, on the 17th of the actual April 2023. But it's all to do with your mind. It's all to do with that particular energy. That in itself, it is going to be a starting point. Your mind is your energy. What you think, you become, you see. So this is what you need to understand, that you are going to have a breakthrough, but it needs to start somewhere. It needs to come from you. So it's making an important decision to be really quick and sharp about something very, very specific here in your life indeed. Okay, and another thing I was going to recommend you, my gorgeous Capricornians, look at this beauty here. It's like, oh my God, it's so gorgeous. But I don't know if you can see the actual beauty of this crystal with this light. And this is solar quartz. I highly recommend you to get a solar quartz, my gorgeous Capricornians, okay? It enhances energy, it brings emotional strength and uplift with great power, and at the same time it improves connection. It improves connection to spirit. Come on, this is like anything that improves connection to spirit. It helps you to make the most out of this life. It helps you to understand things that nobody else can understand, It helps you to see things that nobody else can see, or lots of other people can't see. And most importantly, it helps you to understand how special you are, how different you are, how unique you are, and how gifted you are in so many different ways, because you understand quite a lot. Your level of understanding is like so elevated with some other signs, for example. I'm not putting down anyone, by the way, but I'm just trying to explain you your own power, which you know anyway. So this gorgeous solar quartz pendant comes with sterling silver chain. I highly recommend you to get this and wear. And this also comes with sterling silver chain, and the link to buy this is in the description below. The last important date is going to be on the 25th of April. Now the 25th of April, it's like an idea. You're really going to have such an interesting idea on the 25th of April. But this idea that you are going to have, it's like, seriously, this idea is so important, because it's going to seem like something really tiny, something really small, and something really not that significant, but it's going to in turn to be like probably one of the greatest achievements of your life, man. So just remember this, on the 25th of April, you're going to have an idea, but it's going to seem like a tiny idea. And also that particular idea that you're going to have, it's going to either happen at around the time when you're doing something spiritual, or you're going to be thinking about doing something spiritual, or you've just done something spiritual. There is going to be an immense connection with you doing something spiritual, because this is when your level of like your own energy is rising, and it allows you to see things from a much deeper angle, so one thing kind of leads into another. So on the 25th of April, there is going to be an idea that you're going to have, but it's going to seem like really small. But trust me, that particular idea that you're going to have, it's really going to bring like enormous change into your life. It's a lot to do with things that you are really well capable of, and it's a lot to do do with like you kind of having success out of this. This is going to bring you success and really huge reward, but it is going to happen through hard work, which you are most importantly going to love. And you have to trust yourself. Trust me, this is going to bring an absolutely huge change into your life. At the same time, you're going to become aware of this little bastard here. Some kind of hidden enemy is going to become obvious here. Some kind of snaky snake. It's going to show them their face, and it's only going to remind you to always wear a shoes when you find yourself in a tall grass, you know. But then at the same time, I just made that up, you know. But at the same time, you know, it's going to remind you to always wear shoes when you find yourself in a tall grass, you know. See what I mean? Yeah. So that's, you know. Okay, so basically, yeah, so it's this, you must not kind of let that put you off. It's like part of the challenge. So you get this little idea, and then it's like, oh God, it's going to be huge. It's going to be massive. This is going to turn into something completely different. One thing is going to lead into another, but you're going to like it. But you must understand like that it's going to be way bigger than you can possibly imagine, and you have to trust yourself at the same time. But you must not be put off by this little bastard here. You're going to become aware of some kind of hidden enemy. It's going to show their face, and this is clearly going to be the sign for you to wear shoes in the tall grass next time, you know. Don't be barefooted, you know. But at the same time, it's like a kind of like when you become aware of this enemy, I know that this is going to take your mind away from this idea, but you just like kind of like, I really hope that you will be able to ground yourself and recenter yourself and get back to that. When you become aware of this hidden enemy, what you need to understand is that this is like a little bit of distraction, and it's also it's something that it's going to take your concentration away from this just for a minute or two, and you must not allow this to take the better of you. So what you need to understand is when you become aware of this hidden enemy, this is going to be a sign to move on from something, to walk away from something. Okay, to discontinue something. So this is what you need to do, and it's only going to be better for you, because it's time for you to walk away from this person or a group of people, or what this is all about actually. So this is why this is going to be so important. So don't let that to distract you more than it actually should. Okay, important. So now, my gorgeous Capricornians, now I'm just going to see what is going to be your what is going to happen to those of you in relationship. Now, what is going to happen to those of you in relationship, my lordy lord? For those of you in relationship, you know, luck always changes, baby, but for the better. Just remember this, what I'm going to say for those of you in relationship when it comes to the month of April, my gorgeous Capricornians. The luck always changes for the better in this case. This is so important, because now you're both like really going to be surprised with what is actually going to take place. There is an information and news that you're going to have, something that you waited for, something that you expected, both of you, some kind of achievement, but then again, it's going to be much more powerful than you could have possibly imagined. Something else is going to come along with it, which is going to change absolutely everything in the best possible way. When it comes to you feeling very solid foundation here that you've never felt before, doing this to do something, next step, next stage, the next steps, it's all going to be obvious here. But at the same time, it's about you both feeling well established in order to start some kind of new venture. It's not a new venture as such, it's about to make a dream real, but it's going to require from you both to go on a brand new venture. And now, my gorgeous Capricornians, the time is absolutely perfect. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And when it comes to those of you that are, oh, I didn't put my beads on, so I'm looking where my beads are. I'm always playing with my beads here, but they're here now, yeah? So like, I always have my beads, and always like kind of, it's so good for the energy, you know, rejuvenation. I ground myself with the beads, but at the same time, the beads open me up so much, you know, when it comes to the world beyond. And at the same time, when it comes to my subconscious mind, this is something that brings things up, and so I can go so much further. You know, so everybody has got their own little things, you know. So now I'm without my little beads to play with, so I'm like, okay, no, I'm joking. No, so now basically when it comes to those of you, my gorgeous Capricornians, that are single and ready to mingle, you know, I'm not being funny, yeah, but this month you are gonna have a pretty much so very, very meaningful experience, like very, very meaningful experience. This is for those of you who are single. And what do you mean by meaningful experience? Well, I'm gonna leave that to you to kind of work out once that happens. Something is gonna happen completely out of the blue. To those of you who are single, you're gonna have some moment of like silliness and some moment, a really good moment of you coming out of your shell and you wanting to do something. You are gonna have a moment when you will kind of go somewhere and do something, and you're really gonna find yourself being cheeky, but you will be really enjoying yourself, and it's all gonna happen completely unplanned, but at the same time you're gonna feel like this is something that you should be doing. And at that moment in time, my gorgeous Capricornians, there is something that is gonna happen to you, stranger in the night. You know, there is something that is going to happen to you here, my gorgeous Capricornians, and this in itself, it's all about you kind of like having the beginning of a very, very meaningful experience, like a bit of an adventure here. And that in itself, it's really going to open you up so much. You're gonna taste the flavor. You're gonna taste the flavor of what your life could be, what your life should be. And you're gonna realize that only now you're ready to let someone into your life, baby. So now that in itself, it's really kind of gonna give you so much hope and so much confidence, that beautiful experience. So it's about a hope and it's about a confidence, and it's more about like, oh my God, this is brilliant. And you're gonna have such an important and rather interesting realization. You will realize that what you want to do, how you want to do it, because you will see how this experience is going to make you feel. And that in itself, it's also going to give it a great sense of like, you know what, like if I don't do it now, when am I gonna do it? This is how you're gonna feel. So it's gonna bring the best out in you, but then at the same time you will realize that you are ready for someone very, very special here indeed. Okay, my gorgeous Capricornians, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I'm sending you brightest blessings, a lot of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos. Sasha Bonasin, Psychic Medium. Love you. Bye.